Now in this section I want to go a little further and talk about using roadmaps and distribute lists in redistribution. For this I'm going to disable the redistribution on router 1, and the only point that I want to have redistribution is router 3. And although it may lead me to suboptimal routing, I want to do it just to show you some concepts in redistribution. So let's go to router 1 first and go to enable mode and try to show the running config section router. So I will have router OSPF and router EIGRP section both at once, and now I can see that which parts are here. I want to disable this line, so I go to configure terminal and I negate it, so redistribution is gone. And on OSPF again I want to disable the redistribution. Now I don't have redistribution on router 1 any longer. So let's go to router 3 again. I want to check redistribution here. I want to remove the route maps that I had here. So show running config section router will tell me which commands have been applied to these router process. And now that I know this, I want to disable this. I want to show something on router 1 first. Let's disable this. If I go to router 1, you can see that by showing the running config of section router, I still have redistribute EIGRP on the router OSPF, and this is for one reason. Although on EIGRP we have removed everything, on OSPF if we have some optional parameters for redistribution, you can see that the options are removed, but the actual redistribution is in place. So I need to go to configuration mode under router OSPF 1. I need to remove this as the second level of my configuration. So let's go to here, and now that I have removed redistribution on router EIGRP, let's see running config section EIGRP and see what we have here. Now we don't have any redistribution here on router OSPF. I want to negate the OSPF redistribution, and again I need to make sure that redistribution is gone, so without any parameter I will remove the redistribution again. Now I don't have any redistribution here, and I want to decide what I want to redistribute into OSPF area. If I go to router 3 and check the routing table by using show IP route, you can see that I have routes from, for example, backbone. These are the routes from backbone that start with 1-1, and I may be willing to stop these routes from going inside the OSPF area. So I will remove these from redistribution, and I can do it in two different ways. One of them is to use a distribute list, and the other one is to select, for example, a route map and decide to remove these routes. So let's create a route map, and here I want to create a route map in the name of route map stop BB1 routes, and I'm using this, so I'm going to deny some routes here. So I deny 10, and I want to match these routes using, for example, IP address. That means I am using an AKIL, or I can select a prefix list. I guess a prefix list is a better idea here. I select a prefix list and name this BB1 routes, although I haven't created this, but I will do this later. So anything that is matched with this prefix list is going to be denied from redistribution. I hit enter, and now I will need to have a permit line here to make sure that anything else is going to be redistributed. So I have this route map created here. Let's go to creating of this prefix list. and you know that I need a summary for this prefix list, or I can have all of them one as a line. I want to have kind of IP prefix list, and it's gonna be BB1 routes, and I want to have a sequence 5, or I can remove the sequence and I just add permit 1 1, and the first one is 1 0 /24. This is the first line. 2 0 is the second line. 3 0 4 0 and 5 0, and I guess there's a 6 0 here. Now I have selected the routes that I don't want to redistribute. These are the routes. Now I have created the route map. Now I can go to router OSPF 1 and start redistributing EIGRP 100, and I use subnets to make sure that anything classless is going to be redistributed into OSPF database. Now that I have selected to redistribute EIGRP, I want to remove these routes that are selected using this route map. So I add route map sub BB1 routes, and there is nothing else. Okay, I hit OK. Now that I have this, if I go to, for example, switch 1 that is in OSPF area and check routing table, I can see that every route is here and redistributed, and you can see that redistributed routes are tagged with E2, but there is nothing about 111, 112 or other networks that start with 11. So the route map stops them, and these are not redistributed into OSPF area. Now I can do the same thing and stop some of routes to from redistributing to other areas, but I want to have this here. So let's go to router EIGRP 100 and have the redistribution of OSPF 1, and I need to assign a metric here. For example, because this is kind of in place redistribution, I can have an arbitrary metric, but I guess I will go with this. I have only one frame relay connection, and everything is going to pass this frame relay connection because I have redistribution on router 3, so I need to assign a 150, 1500 or 1500, and this is going to be bandwidth, delay, load, delay, of course not reliability, load, and MTU. Assigned to redistribution. Now I have redistributed OSPF into EIGRP as well. So we have selected the route map to stop some of routes from going to OSPF areas, and I can do the same thing on the other one, but I don't want to do this. Okay, let's go to switch 1 and try to show IP interfaces brief. I want to show you something else about redistribution. You can see that I have no loopback except loopback 0. I want to have some loopback interfaces here, so I go to configuration and create some loopback interfaces. Loopback, for example, 10 or 11. I start by creating loopback 11. The IP address is going to be 55.11.5. Loopback 12, and it's going to be 55.12.5. Loopback 13, and that's enough, I guess. And now I want to have these in OSPF database, but if I'm told to have these in OSPF database as external routes, I need to redistribute them into OSPF database. So for this, I will go and create a route map again. Route map is the best idea. Route map, loop back, interfaces, and I need to permit it because I'm going to match some interfaces that are going to be redistributed into OSPF database. So I try match, and after that I can have an IP address that is gonna be the access list, or I can have match IP address prefix that is going to use the prefix list as we did on router 3, or I can have match interface because these are the interfaces connected to this switch. I can select match interface, and of course I can have redistribute connected in routers, but I'm trying to have match interface first, and after that I need to assign the type of interface. For example, loopback 11, and again I need to assign all other ones, loopback 12 and loopback 13. Now you can see that I have matched 3 interfaces, and I'm not going to have another line of route map, so this is the route map that I just created. So let's go to router OSPF 1 and try redistribution, and this time you can see that I can redistribute connected interface. Because loopback interfaces are connected interface, I can use connected. Now after assigning the redistribute connected, I need to have subnets as well again, and I need to assign a route map to tell OSPF to select only some of these connected interfaces and not all of them. And this route map is route map, what is the name of this route map? Loopback interfaces. So I have assigned a route map, and in this route map I have matched some interfaces. Now I can tell OSPF process to redistribute these interfaces and only these interfaces into OSPF database. Now if I go to, for example, router 3 or for example router 1 and try to see show IP route, and I want to see only OSPF route, so I type OSPF after show IP route, you can see that I have 5511, 5512 and 5513 in OSPF database. If I try to see every route, you can see that these routes are there, of course, but they are not assigned external. So let's try this on router 2, show IP route, and again these routes that start with 5 are not external. This is kind of odd because I need to have them as external. Oh, something is missing on switch 1. I guess I need to see the running config in section router OSPF will tell me that I have selected all of the interfaces to go into OSPF process, and this is because of the network 0000, and this is why I have not them as external routes. So I remove this, no network 0000, and show IP interfaces in brief and exclude unassigned interfaces. Now you can see that these are here, and I use network 10.0.25.5 in area 0 and network 110.0.155 in area 0. Now the other routes should be external routes. So if I try to save them and go to router 2 again and see OSPF routes only, now you can see that the routes that I have selected are external here. These are the routes that I just redistributed into OSPF database.